Yeah.
Nice.
and without Michael Bay,
Right.
but with Platinum Games.
That sounds crazy.
I don't even care about Transformers, and I want to play that.
Yeah. That peanut butter and chocolate together is probably going to be pretty good.
I saw a couple screenshots of that, and I was a little skeptical, and I was sort of like, that can't really be happening, can it?
Yeah. And then it was Platinum. It's like, go on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Rock Band 4 has a release date coming out October 6th. If you want the game and guitar, it's $130.
Ooh. It's a
If
little
you
steep.
want the full band kit, it is $240.
That's a little steeper than I remember
It's
those being.
$60 more than it was before.
Okay.
So,
Thought so.
that is happening. Don't forget, your old instruments will work just fine.
That's good.
These
You can
new-
go to the local used game store and pick up an old one. Now, are they selling some sort of adapter, or is it just going to plug into the USB ports and do it in software?
I don't think we know that yet.
Okay, because I mean, I'm sure people have like. Rock Band didn't come out for PS2, did it?
The first one did.
Okay, I
That
don't think
certainly won't work.
that. Yeah, okay. I thought not, but
Yeah.
you never know.
They say they're working with Microsoft and Sony now to get like all the wireless drivers set up to get them
Okay.
to work with. So
That was
I
my
don't know.
next
The
question.
new guitar looks really cool. I just don't think I can afford $130 when Guitar Hero is coming out, and I have to get that controller. So I don't know. And then Telltale announced a new Walking Dead game. Stars Michonne?
Michonne? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Michonne, this ninja chick.
Yeah.
I'm
they go
sorry.
with her.
I'm watching this Platinum game trailer for Transformers, and holy crap, it's Devastator.
Yeah.
That's gonna be awesome.
See, it's like
All
we're
right.
5 again.
Yeah.
No, I don't know if you guys saw my face light up. I'm watching.
Yeah.
Watch the live stream, folks.
But that's
Okay.
all the kind of bits and bobs that I really saw. Did you guys see anything else that kind of grabbed your attention?
I heard tell of Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls coming to PS4,
They are. I forgot about
which is really, really awesome news for me because I never played Beyond Two Souls.
that. I
and
didn't either.
Kind of didn't want to on PS3.
Yeah, hopefully the frame rate gets smoothed out a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm assuming they're going to be digital only.
Okay.
They have to be a disc in Europe because of bandwidth issues, but
Okay.
I don't know.
I mean, I love some Quantic Dream games. I would kill to see a remake of Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
Or Indigo Prophecy, rather. I would let me rephrase that. I would like to see them actually finish Indigo Prophecy,
Right.
Because that game was not done.
Right.
That game was slapped together with an ending that made no sense.
Yeah.
If you ever want to play one of the weirdest games you've ever played, go play Indigo Prophecy.
Play Omicron.
Oh yeah, Omicron.
God.
Forgot about that one.
I had that.
That's been years and years and years.
Calm down, dogs. We're almost done.
But Heavy Rain, it's been just long enough that I remember really, really loving that game, and I kind of want to come back to it.
It's not a very long game, so it wouldn't
It's
be
not.
hard to come back to it.
Yeah. So I'm excited for both of those. I don't know if I saw a release date for either one of those though.
No. I think they've been saying this year.
That would be nice.
You have Omicron for Dreamcast?
Seriously?
Wow.
Oh man, and you got a Game Crazy sticker on that bad boy.
David
Oh.
Bowie would be proud.
Oh yeah. Oh, there's the gem right there.
Yeah, Tomb Raider Last Revelation. Wow.
That's some good stuff.
Anything else you guys saw? Not a lot other sort of outside of call the hint line. Not a lot outside of the press conferences proper.
Yeah, not a ton caught my attention. I think like it was an interesting E3 coming back and sort of having to absorb it all at once in a really sort of quick amount of time for myself because I was, like I said, I was out of the country. I did not have access to anything even resembling reliable data connection. I was able to watch Microsoft and Sony on my way back. Thanks, Southwest Airlines.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, the Wi-Fi in their flights was surprisingly good.
Yeah.
But this was one of those E3s where everything I heard, everything that came out of it was like, are they trying to just make me have a heart attack with joy.
Right.
Are they trying to just like make everyone happy?
Yeah,
at once.
You didn't really have a bad trailer for a game you were looking forward to.
No.
Like for me at the show, like even Doom looked pretty good, which
Doom
I was
looked
sort of
awesome.
like, all right.
My biggest disappointment, and I actually called this in the forums. I forget, someone put up an E3 predictions thread in the forums that I posted in, and one of my predictions was Microsoft will not even mention Phantom Dust.
Yeah, of course not.
And
That's been
didn't.
getting shuffled around so much. They'll save that for something like Gamescom. They'll save that for Paris Game Week. You know,
I hope it still exists. Is my concern.
They said they moved it from that team when they canceled that team. They moved it off to another team. So they're saying it still exists. Maybe it's getting rewritten.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I don't know. The only thing that was disappointing for me was no wireless headset.
Yeah, that's still a disappointment. I agree.
Your constant disappointment.
It's driving me crazy. I even caught myself all tangled up, forgetting that I was tethered to the controller again. It flips across the room. I'm like, ugh. But no, that, and I don't know if I missed it. There wasn't any Crackdown talk.
No, they said they're saving that for Gamescom.
Yeah.
So a couple months we'll see more. The thing is, I think the problem with both Microsoft and Sony is they had so much stuff that like their second tier games
spreading it out.
They sort of have to push that to either TGS or Gamescom just to give them breathing room. Because what I'm expecting to see from Crackdown then is like a 15-minute gameplay demo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, we'll get that meaty video because that won't get any traction at E3. Same with Phantom Dust. Like, they can't show that and have people like, yeah, Crackdown. They're like, wait, what was that? Is this a sequel? You know, like, that people unfortunately don't care as much as they do about some, like, Gears 4.
And given that this is sort of the year of VR, I was really surprised with the lack of Morpheus talk
Me too,
from Sony. Like,
I thought that was going to be half their conference.
I didn't think it was going to be that much because it's really hard to actually demo anything on there. But I thought they would like. I was expecting them to come out on stage with the hardware,
right? Or at least announce like we're coming in 2016. You know, something to push it a little bit.
Yeah, well, I mean, there was a lot of talk on it on the commentary side of it, like what they were showing on the floor, like on that Spike thing I talked about. It, like literally, like half the show was talking about Morpheus and the VR stuff, and then. Like after the Sony conference and the GameSpot thing, they just did nothing but talking about Morpheus the whole time. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I was way more interested in the application of the HoloGlass than anything else. Yeah. I think that is genius.
Yeah, that for me is one of the standouts of the show.
That was really just a sleeper. Like, I don't know. I know everyone's sort of been talking about HoloLens throughout since they displayed it, but
it's everything you wanted Google Glass to be. Like,
that's a great point.
What you wanted.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I want a heads-up display for my world.
Yeah. Oh god, that would be so useful. Are you kidding?
Yeah, screw these things.
Yeah.
I feel like this was one of those E3s where, you know, it's after a console launch. It's the first real proper E3 after a console, where it's been in the market for long enough, and I feel like. For me, since I own all the consoles, there's a lot of stuff in there that's sort of like, okay, I'm excited to have these platforms. I'm excited to own these consoles so I can get just this huge amount of stuff they showed off, all of which, even if it's not for me, all of which seems to be of such a high quality that that makes me happy to own these platforms so I can... You know, even if Last Guardian isn't for me, that looks like a pretty cool game, and it looks great, you know?
Yeah. At the same time, it's sort of, it's interesting because I think we're in a position in the industry where this is sort of the first time we've had the coexistence of the really, really big AAA established, and it doesn't seem to be going anywhere, you know, studios, and then just the absolute madness of all these upstarts and indie games and
like Hello Games and No Man's Sky.
Yeah,
that got a playable demo on stage, you know, next to Call of Duty.
but like Hello Games is like the 1% of the 1% that's actually breaking through into that upper echelon.
Right.
Like they just, yeah. I think it's sort of indicative of the industry that like there's a lot more interesting things happening in indie games, but you're not seeing those at E3,
right?
Because they don't need to be there,
right? They just are on the marketplace already.
Yeah, they're hitting Steam. They're working with Sony to get on whatever platforms they can get on with Sony. I think the thing that sort of kicked this thought off in my mind was watching the Sony press conference, and the last 2-3 years, their big thing has been we support indie games.
Yep.
And to see that absent from the Sony press conference was actually kind of disheartening for me.
Well, I think it bodes well for indie developers that they don't need Sony anymore.
Absolutely. My fear is that, you've got the Activision Blizzards of the world, you've got the Sonys, you've got the big publishers. They could be throwing their weight around and really getting some interesting ideas out there, and helping some of the get the cream of the crop into more hands.
And I hope that there's a sea change here, because when you look at Ubisoft over the last year, they made Grow Home, and they're now making that Unraveled game or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Those are, they're coming from a big publisher, but really they're indie games, and it seems like they're kind of fragments off of these teams, like almost a little bit of shrapnel shoots out, and here comes this cool, cute indie game.
Like a startup with inside the larger company.
Yeah, and I hope that we see more of that from like the Take-Twos and the Activisions and the Sonys.
I hope so too. I think that's a really good thing for the industry, because you get a chance to test out a new idea with an established publisher.
Well, financial backing's the big bit there. Yeah, that problem's solved right from the bat.
Right.
You don't have to necessarily.
That's how we get Dead Space and Mirror's Edge.
Yeah.
Because they were under the umbrella of EA.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that whole year of EA was just like back to back to back. Just everyone was all about EA.
Yeah,
new.
When EA partners works out well, it works out really well for gamers.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's just interesting to see these. I expect in the next, I want to say 5 years, the publishers and developers you see not only on the E3 show floor, but at press conferences are going to be almost an entirely new set.
Yeah.
Well, then that's what's exciting is this whole cyclical thing that's going on in the industry is that you've got to remember, like EA and Activision, they were the little guys at one point.
Yeah, Activision.
Now they're taking up
Atari.
They're taking up equally the same amount of stage time as the hardware, the Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo. Right, they have an equal share of the pie, and it's only, by the way things grow, that there's going to be another group upsetting the guard.
Well, I mean, we saw that a little bit this year at Sony's, where Devolver Digital was on stage to show off 4 indie games.
Yeah,
they're coming up rapidly as a serious powerhouse indie publisher, not really a developer anymore. So we're already seeing the seeds of that getting planted.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, because I think we're going to sort of get into a point where, right now we have really, really big guys and we have really, really little guys, and there's this row in the middle here where you can
middle
start
class.
We're going to see like a mid.
We are the 90%.
Yeah, you're going to start seeing these. You might see some top tier developers like sort of take bigger risks with less money in this middle tier, or
when you think historically, it's the Take-Two, it's the THQ, it's the Majesco. This kind of, they put out a couple games, they put out a lot of licensed stuff, they come out with a lot of original stuff. They're paying the bills and they're taking chances kind of at the same time.
Yeah.
So
I think we've been sort of missing that.
Oh, absolutely.
So far this generation.
7th gen killed the middle publisher.
Yeah.
And Psychonauts.
Well, a lot of it is, it's all a problem with capital. They don't have the capital to fail.
Right.
And those companies had the nuts to go out there and fail.
Yep. Yeah. And now we have Kickstarter for some of that stuff. So.
Yes.
Exactly. We're gonna. I think the gaming industry is gonna get really weird in the coming years.
Yeah.
And I'm super.
It's already plenty weird, and it's just getting weirder.
Yeah.
All right, the pups seem like they're done with this episode, so I think we're signaling the end of this show. Yeah, okay. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us for another E3. This year has some exciting stuff in store, and we're 400 episodes in, and we're not stopping anytime soon. So if you'd like to visit us, you can do so at tvgp.tv. Everything that you're interested in is on the right-hand side of the page.
And don't forget to join the forums. Please mark yourselves on the map. And I don't know if you guys heard that come across.
Yeah.
Join us for our game nights, or every night of the week something's going on. Find us.
Yep. Current TVGP Game Club game is Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. We will be doing the recap podcast this coming Thursday around 7 or 8 p.m. Central Time, depending on what time everyone can kind of come together.
You still got time.
Yeah, well, if you're just starting it this week, you don't have a whole lot. Relatively speaking, it's very... there's a lot there.
We'll save the show for you.
Yeah, it's gonna be a really interesting episode.
And don't forget, you watch this show live, twitch.tv/E1M1 Network. Shameless plug for myself. Final Fantasy V 4-Job Fiesta 2015 starts tonight.
Oh yeah!
So this week I will be streaming Final Fantasy V. Watch my downward spiral. I have a real bad feeling about my party this year. I've gotten some good ones in the last couple of years, so I'm due for just a real mess.
All right.
So that's twitch.tv/Boston Hannon for that one. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. We'll see you for the next 100 episodes.
Laters.
Peace.
And that's it?
Yeah.
Hey, Boston, I do have to say something. Your hair looks fantastic today.
Oh, well, thank you. It's very nice.
It's the light's catching it just right.
I got it cut a couple weeks ago, so now it's starting to come in. I got a lot of gray going on the wings here. I'm digging that.
I don't understand how that has not happened to me, like, at all yet.
Really? I'm digging it. I'm getting closer to salt and pepper, and I'm feeling it.
Well, I mean, it's just like... maybe my genes I'm not just distinguished enough. I'm just...
Maybe.
That's a distinct possibility.
I'm gonna be Mel Gibson. I'm forever young.
Don't go the crazy route, man.
Thank you very much, everyone, for watching live stream. See you next week.